in a bit. Lakers with a tough opener. They fall to the Golden State Warriors. Sloppy for the most part, guys. Lakers ended up with 20 turnovers, but 15 of those were in the first half. They also missed 11 free throws. On the other side, Golden State Warriors, 26 to 29 from the line. The Lakers, tough night shooting with the three. Just 25%. The Warriors, 43%, plus 27 from three. And they used a big third quarter, James, early. They went on an 18-4 run, the Warriors did, and the Lakers were uphill from there.
Yeah, not the home opener we were anticipating. I thought from the beginning, the Lakers had a really tough time answering to Golden State's defense. They did a lot of blitzing early. They blitzed Luka, they blitzed Reeves a lot, and they did not counter that. They got the turnover started. I think they had like 7 or 8 in the first quarter. So to not be able to counter that first flash of defense where they were blitzing everything was a problem. And then, just didn't have the flow offensively, depended on Luka quite a bit. I think Aiden had 7 attempts tonight. If you're going to use a big man, you got to get him involved a little bit more. But I thought they depended on Luka a lot. Reeves were the only 2 guys that really took the majority of the shots. But defensively is where I think they just could not counter. And when the Golden State Warriors figured out the mismatches and the disadvantages, they went to Butler a lot. The ISO Butler, they got him going. And then Hill came in, hit some threes. Kuminga got going. They had a variety of players, but their offense was flowing the way ours was not. And so it's 81 more games. You don't want to put a lot on this first game, but it wasn't your typical home opening with or without LeBron. Too many turnovers, not the quick adjustments made, and Golden State, a well-groomed team, experienced team with Draymond Green. He's pretty smart with the ball in his hand. Steph Curry, and they just outplayed us and outsmarted us on both ends.
Yeah, Kuminga, fresh off that 2-year contract, he looked really good in that second half. Kind of pushed the Warriors offensively. James, I'm with you. Too much stop and start for the Lakers. Not a lot of energy, not a lot of motion, not a lot of momentum for this team. And I think part of it is they fouled a lot. So the Warriors had a ton of free throws, especially in that first half. A lot of turnovers. And yeah, you can't shoot 25% from three. When you're against a team like the Warriors, and they're going to leave you open on some threes, you've got to drill them. And the Lakers couldn't do that. So good news, James, a lot of this stuff is kind of self-inflicted.
Yep.
The turnovers, the missed free throws. They shot 61% from the free throw line. That's trouble. That's trouble. And that's, there's no pressure when you're standing there at the free throw line. The average team shoots about 79, 80% free throws. Lakers didn't come close to that tonight. A lot of points left on the court is my long-winded explanation for why the Lakers lost.
Yeah, so let's start with the Warriors, guys. I mean, remember this team, and they were talking about at the end of the broadcast, this is a team that was leading the Houston Rockets in round 2 to go to the Western Conference Finals, and Steph Curry got hurt. Steph Curry is no longer hurt, and they look really good. They play well together. James, I like that you hit on the defense first. I think they came out with attention to detail and that energy. Listen, Butler had 31. Lakers did not have an answer for him. Kuminga, 17, 13 of those in that big third quarter that they had. Buddy Hield, 5 threes off the bench. And then Steph doing his thing. Steph ended up with 23. But the Warriors looked the part tonight, big game.
They did. And, Gita, you don't win 4 championships without playing defense. You say what you want to about their high-powered offense and the way Steph Curry shoots the ball and the way they can put the ball in the bucket. But this team is a well-oiled defensive team. They're not as big, even though they added Horford, who's, I think, an experienced player that knows how to play with this team. Hit some shots tonight and was effective. But, when their defense is playing the way they are and you don't counter, I think the Lakers were playing right into their hands, never really got someone in the middle. They never attacked the double teams. You have to attack that. And I think later on in the second half, they started to get in the paint a little bit more and attack it, but it was a little bit too late. But look, Golden State, yeah, they're going to be there as long as they got Steph Curry, as long as they have Draymond Green, and the additions that they have, Hill and Kuminga and some other guys, they're a well-groomed veteran team, so they're not going to beat themselves. And so the Lakers just did not answer to the bell when Golden State was, laying that defense on them. And we know what they can do offensively. Butler was the X factor. Great pickup for them. When they need a bucket, he can get it outside of Curry and Draymond and some of the other players.
Without a doubt. And this can look different down the road. It can look different when LeBron James is here. But in game one, Brez, you were reminded at how good they are at finding the matchup they want. And what makes them so dangerous, yes, the ball's in Steph Curry's hands a lot, but they have playmakers all over the floor, and it's constant movement and guys that can dribble and attack, dish. They move that ball around. They're always cutting. And I said this in the pregame show, and it's been this way for years in the great battles that the Lakers have had with them. They put constant pressure on you on that end of the floor.
You know, the bad news for the Warriors, they're the oldest team in the league. The good news for the Warriors, they're the oldest team in the league. There's a lot of continuity there. You know, Steph, Draymond, they've been there for like 29 years each. You lose Klay Thompson to free agency a little over a year ago. Pick up a guy like Jimmy Butler at the trade deadline last season. Jimmy fooled me a little bit. When he was in Miami last year, the first half of that season, he was missing games, James. Looked like he was hurt. When he did play, he looked ineffective. And it's like, wow, is this the end of it for Jimmy Butler? And then he gets traded to Golden State, and it's like, oh, no, he's fine. He's fine. And obviously his career is rejuvenated. That team looks really good. And Buddy Hield, look, he can score 20 or he can score 2. That's just kind of the player he is. He's a very hot and cold player. Tonight, he had 17. James, the entire Laker bench had 18. So we talked about that a lot. The Lakers need to improve their bench scoring. Tonight's a little deceptive because Gabe Vincent, he got elevated to the starters. You know, LeBron, JJ Redick said, all right, Gabe's going to be with the starters. I think when Gabe goes back to the Laker bench, he'll provide a little bit more scoring punch. But for tonight, James, you know, they almost got outscored by Buddy Hield, the Laker reserve.
Yeah, it's a hard task for Gabe as a starter because, he has to defend starters. And they put a lot of pressure on him because Golden State was just seeking out players. We're going to post up, Austin Reeves. We're going to go at Gabe now. And so you're absolutely right. The NBA, you can't play that team defense anymore because they're all looking for mismatches and they try to collapse the defense that way. But, the Lakers just, and, the other guys, Brandon, how you pronounce it?
Pods.
Can I just say Pods?
Please.
What an X factor he is.
Yeah.
He is a threat. He knows how to run the offense well. He knows, what the alternatives are. And so they're a well-groomed team. If you don't match their effort, if you don't counter against their defense, they can beat you as they showed tonight.
Guys, let's talk a little Lakers. We'll start with the positive, and that's Luka Doncic. 43 points, 17 of 27. And you look at the most points scored on opening night in Laker history. Elgin Baylor, the great Elgin Baylor, with 52 points. Kobe Bean, 45. Luka is next at 43. Jerry West, back in 1969 with 39. And James Worthy, big game James in 91, 37
So against the Rockets, I think?
points. Pretty good game by
I
you.
think that was against the Rockets. Robert Horry might have been involved in that.
Listen, Luka got to the line 10 times and made 7 of them. He was 2 for 10 from 3, but man, was he good everywhere else. I mean, he made things happen, big game, and listen, a lot of talk at him being in a great place physically and mentally. He's still the master at getting to his spot, anything in that mid-range or to the basket, just about unstoppable.
Yeah, he's an unstoppable player. That's who Luka is. He's a dominant offensive player. He has the size. He has the ability to get to his spots. He knows how to use his body to get spacing. The one thing that I think that he's going to have to realize, continue to do what he's doing. I mean, look, he's got to get players involved earlier. I think and I think it's not that he's not trying to. I just think that's going to have to be the Lakers, philosophy. You got to get 8 and 12, 15, attempts at least, and get other guys because he can get his whenever he wants to. What happens at the beginning of the game when he starts to get his, I think you have less movement, You have guys have a tendency to spectate a little bit more, and I think that takes away from the offensive rebounding as well. You don't have guys in motion. I didn't think Rui had the type of game that he's going to need to have. He's a dominant physical force, and they're going to have to find a way to get him involved early. You get your X factors involved early. You don't have to worry about your superstars late on at the end of the game.
Yeah, I was going to say, Brez, the balance, big game hit on it. It just wasn't there. You're not getting any volume for other guys. So it is a tough position to be in for them. It just didn't seem like that rhythm and flow.
You know, Luka was 1 assist away from a 43-point triple-double, and that's amazing if he hits it. You know, I watched Kobe Bryant for 12 years, the last 12 years of his career when I was at the LA Times. And Kobe would treat games differently. There'd be some games where he would come out and shoot 10 shots in that first quarter, James. Other games where he would shoot 5 shots the entire first half. He'd get everybody involved, maybe keep doing it in the third quarter, and then he's like, all right, I'm going to shoot 15 times in this fourth quarter. Luka, without LeBron until mid-November, reportedly, Luka's going to have to kind of get in touch with that part of what Kobe could
Austin,
do.
too.
Austin, too. Yeah. Well, I don't want to put Luka on an island, that he's the only one who has to figure this out. Both those guys need to figure out, when do I need to dish to Rui? Let's get the other guys going.